To the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's go.
And welcome in to the Rob and Kale podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Normally, Kale Hall would be sitting to my, I guess it's left. Yeah, whatever. Jackpot, I text him, and the thing is that Jackpot has to get up early, right? So Jackpot normally takes a nap beforehand. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm gonna do the show by myself until he gets here. If he shows up, great. I sent him a text message, and yeah. There's that. I don't know where he is, to be honest with you. So he's, we're not bad-mouthing Jackpot. He's just not here right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to thank the sponsors for the show. We're going to take calls immediately from you. If you would like to join the show, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. People are already talking about Tennessee losing to Vanderbilt tonight in hoops. Get beat by the smart kids, it's never good. They were celebrating they all got A's on advanced calculus. Just saw the ending for that game. Tennessee was a huge favorite in that game. I'm not just ripping into Tennessee here. The Tennessee basketball program is light years better than the Tennessee football program will probably ever be. That's where the Tennessee fans should be calling and saying, you know what, man, we really fell short. So, yeah, it was at Vanderbilt. Shout out to Travis. What's up, buddy? But yeah, I think Billy says he thinks he just saw Jackpot on Cops Live in Richland County. Well, Richland County is like 2 hours from where Jackpot lives, so I don't think that's Jackpot's MO up there. Zona Tucson says, what's the name of the intro song? Well, the name of the intro song is Marvin Cease, South Carolina's own Marvin Cease, and it's called Candy Liquor. Go and Google that. One of the best songs ever. So anyway, all right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to thank Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. I'm going to do a show with you guys for a little bit. I know you guys love Jackpot, but I love doing this stuff. And do a nice little show for you here this evening. We'll thank Callaway's Bar and Grill first, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. They're going to sponsor the Bracket Challenge, which is coming up. People are going to be telling us here before too long about, hey, Tennessee's probably a Final Four team. And you know what? They're pretty solid. There isn't a basketball team out there right now other than Purdue that I've watched, and I was like, you know what? That's a team that's going to be really, really tough. Purdue's been really solid all year, but if you ask me to pick a team right now, hey, this is who I'm going to fill out my bracket with, it'd be kind of hard for me. Leonard says, tell Crackpot's wife to get out the smelling bacon salts. Very good, sir. Very good. All right, anyway, you guys are welcome to join the program here. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. There you go. Make sure that the phone lines are working. They are absolutely working. 803-470-2905. You want to talk about that? There's some other stuff too. I've got to thank Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. Sad to say, one of his sons tore his MCL tonight. Get well there, young man. Get well. Normally we have fireside chats with Uncle Jackpot, but Jackpot is not here this evening. These are brought to you by DNC Trucking and Transport. I'm going to read the nice little script there. And here it comes. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Gamecock athletics have a lot of nerve asking for crazy money to build up the ghetto on Bluff Road. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers. All facts there. Absolutely all facts. All right. So Brock says, Jackpot said, fuck the woke movement. I'm sleeping. Yeah. Big Barney Ross, by the way, if you're, he is our bourbon consultant here on the program. He has a new bourbon review. It's up on the webpage. robandkaleshow.com. I will read you a piece of it right now. Oh, I can't do Big Barney Ross's voice, but he says, bacon alone can't solve all your problems. That's what bourbon is for. Very old Barton. At first sniff, Barton bourbon doesn't have much to offer. There's some light honey grain vanilla fennel, slightly dark apple juice, a drop of orange juice, and some dry roasted oak. Similar to young craft bourbon, there's a notable youthful graininess and pepperiness because the bourbon hasn't had the time to develop more sweetness. The taste test. Sipping this bourbon brings some slightly floral honey and vanilla, pear, and a drop of cherry and herbal kennel up front. Then I start to get more of that earthy and dry grain caraway seed, oak, and dry cracker that screams young and underdeveloped bourbon. All in all, for a cheap bourbon, I've had worse. Wait, the aftertaste kicks off with dry and bitter oak, honey, roasted grains, and herbal fennel. It becomes quite bitter and dry at the end, but not remotely at all like a 10-plus-year-old bourbon does. It's a little unpleasant, but for $20, it's a trade-off. There's a reason bourbon comes in fifths, because you need it when you're too tense. Big Barney Ross, bourbon taster extraordinaire. I'm out. So thanks to Big Barney Ross for... Anyway, thanks to Big Barney Ross for that. Oh, Sir Uga is hitting some stuff there. Tell us what you got. Papa B says Mississippi State Skull Dragon LSU. Yeah, man, LSU, they're going to be hurting for a bit. Sir Uga says they need me at the Slob Olympics. You know, I told you the wife's got this thing down there. So can't be backing out on the wife. Gotta handle that. She's doing a getaway trip with the daughters, or the one daughter, and I've got the other daughter and my son. So I can't be going to the Slob Olympics. Although I can tell you, I don't run the Slob Olympics, but if I did, I've seen some of the events that are there. Did they write these events for Jackpot? I mean, come on. So over here, that would be this picture behind me. That would be my daughter, Scarlett. That was when she was, how old was Scarlett in this picture? Like 2? I don't know. But Scarlett is much older now. But that is Scarlett behind me. And then I have pictures of Jaden over here. And I got a picture of Paula Kay over there. So, yeah. But look, I actually would want to, I want to come to the Slob Olympics. Simply because I think that the events are written for Carolina Jackpot, and Jackpot is going to, he's going to dominate for the show. What do you get if you win? Do you get like a Slob Olympics letter jacket? Do you get something that says head slob? I don't know. I don't know what that is. We'll have to see on that. B Bean says a cute kid. Yeah, that's true. She is a cute kid. Big Barney Ross says Josh Herpel has a better chance of putting on a pillowcase using his chin than I do of picking a winning basketball bracket. I have to ask Big Barney Ross, do you have a better chance of collecting another divorce or picking a perfect basketball bracket? Both are very hard. Both are very hard. Oh, you actually get a trophy. Okay. I'm with you on that. If we won the Slob Olympics trophy, we would have that posted everywhere. Jackpot's going to win it for the show. And I guarantee you he'll hang that damn thing in the Christmas tree if that happens. So there's that. All right. A couple of things here. Some notes. Dawn Staley's getting a statue at South Carolina. There are a lot of people that are upset by that. The woman's won 2 national titles. And it seems to me that getting a statue in female sports is a lot easier at South Carolina than in male sports. And I'm not mocking that. I'm just saying I can think of other players and other coaches. Steve Spurrier should have a statue at South Carolina. He's the all-time winningest football coach there. That should be part of Gamecock lore there. But Dawn Staley, the woman's won 2 national titles. I mean, she's made the Gamecock women's basketball team the best women's basketball program in the country. So if they want to put up a statue for there, I mean, I don't know. People shouldn't be bitching about that. So there's that. Sir Uga says he's sipping on 4 roses tonight. Very good. Very, very good. I was listening to Josh Pate's podcast the other day, and he was talking about things that one major thing happened in college football that what would you want to not happen from the past that would completely change things? You know, when I really stop and think about it, as far as Clemson stuff goes, I kind of wish that the Kelly Bryant, I wish that debacle wouldn't have happened there, but I still think that worked out for the best. I could think of other things throughout Clemson history that may have shit the bed a little bit, but that's probably one of the first ones, though, to be honest. Is there a college football thing that you would like to take back or you wish that didn't happen that could have affected your program? If you're a South Carolina fan, you kind of wish, hey, maybe Georgia could have fell asleep a little bit and kept Mark Richt for another year. And then all of a sudden, Kirby Smart would have been at South Carolina. There was a handshake deal to make him the head coach at South Carolina. We would have gotten out of that Will Muschamp debacle. I mean, let's just be as blunt as we can. We goof about it, or I goof about Kirby Smart here. Guy's a hell of a football coach. And this guy's coming out, and you have the opportunity to have him or Will Muschamp. I mean, it's not even close. I'm not saying that he would have built South Carolina to 2 national titles, but South Carolina would not have had Shane Beamer wouldn't be at South Carolina. Firmly believe that. Absolutely believe that. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Harry says, not giving Eric Russell the head coach when Dooley retired. Yeah, there's that, I guess. Or Irk Russell. That's funny. I could think of other things, too. You know, in Clemson's early set there with having Kevin Steele and all those guys, Sweeney should have got rid of them earlier. Big Barney Ross says, Muschamp's philosophy, don't be part of the problem, be the entire problem. Very good, sir. That's a good point. Leonard says, Spurrier statue should feature him swinging a golf club. I'm sure he enjoyed that much more than actually having to coach in Codumpia. Thank you for contributing to the program, Leonard. Look, there should be a statue down there for Steve Spurrier. And, you know, Marcus Lattimore probably deserves a statue as well. And you could even look at Connor Shaw. Johnny wants to know where Jackpot is. Jackpot may be sleeping, my friend. I don't know where he is. I messaged him, but I want to come on and do a little show here for you guys. If you want to join the program, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. We can talk about the stuff that I've thrown out there. Oh, also, I want your Super Bowl picks because I tell you what, I'm looking at the Super Bowl stuff, right? And the more and more I look, the harder and harder it gets for me to pick. And I'll tell you why. You've got Spurrier throwing the visor. Good point there, Nick. Spurrier running away from that dump. Johnny, I'll get to your question in a minute, but I want your picks on the Super Bowl, 803-470-2905. I read something. From outside looking in, okay? My first look was, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. I think they got the better coach, and I think they got the better quarterback. Okay? So just on that, Travis Kelce's a hell of a player. I'm all over that. All right? But then I started reading a little bit. Did you know that the Philadelphia Eagles have 70 sacks on the season? They played 19 games. They have 70 sacks. That is insanity when you really stop and think about it. I think that they're going to get to the quarterback, and there's reason to think, all right, is the ankle healthy for Pat Mahomes? Is the ankle healthy? Is he going to be able to do his thing? Patrick Mahomes 100% against that Eagles defense that's had 70 sacks on the year, even though he's playing with a bunch of, I think Big Barney Ross could go right now and start for the Eagles, start for the Chiefs as a wide receiver. They're just rolling just a bunch of bums out there right now. They really are. If you're not Travis Kelce, they're on the 4th string guys. the big hit there is you're at like, what is it? The line's like a 1.5 one way or the other. But yeah, so want your picks too on the Super Bowl. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. And I was listening to something else this week, and they were talking about we talk a lot about conference superiority, etc. If you could take your hat off for just a second, and I know a lot of you are the SEC ilk here, but there really, in theory, should not be a huge drop-off between the SEC and the ACC. And I'll tell you why. Because the most of the good college football is played in the southern part of the country. And you've got big TV markets that are throughout the ACC. And you've got, in addition to Clemson, you've got some programs that have been very relevant for a long time, and now they're not. The way for the ACC to shake the weak conference thing that a lot of people throw out there is very simple. I think that Miami and Florida State have to be worth a shit. When they put those two teams in the conference, that was the thought. These two teams are going to play each other every year in the ACC championship game. That's why they were playing it down in Florida for a bit. They're playing it in Jacksonville and Orlando and all that. Why the hell play it down there when those two teams aren't even going to make the damn thing? Florida State looks like they're going to be doing something here. They signed Norvell to an extension. But I think we're at a point now where we have to, if we're trying to build up the conference here a little bit, and I'm not into the whole conference thing. I'm just saying if you want your conference to be respected a little bit more, you're going to have to, first of all, they can add Notre Dame. That's something that's got to happen, especially with the SEC expanding. Add Notre Dame, and Miami and Florida State need to get off the pot. And I mean, we can remember back in the day when Virginia Tech was really good. Mike Vick, Corey Bird, all those guys that played there, they weren't a national championship level, but you knew going to play Virginia Tech was not going to be a pushover. They weren't losing games to Richmond and insert lower level school here. They were pretty good. They were pretty good. But after you really stop and look at it, when you step out of the box and you're not talking about, hey, I'm looking just for my conference. All right. And you're an SEC folk. I understand that. A lot of SEC folks love our show. And, since Jackpot's here, I'll put this out there. I respect what the conference has done. I respect Greg Sankey huge for what he did, especially during the pandemic, with the ability to get a college football season off when people told him he couldn't. Looking back on that now, he was definitely the smartest guy in the room. And you know what he did? He just went around and says, I got all these universities with all these doctors and everything else. That's where we're going to go. We're going to listen to folks and do our thing. The Big Ten was like, nah, we don't care. We're not going to do that. We're canceling the whole damn season. So I respect Sankey a good bit. And they've got the right frame of mind over there that football is king. And king is that's the amount of money it brings into your program overall, your conference. For the ACC to get right, they're going to have to add. Don't mess with my pigs, dog. They're going to have to add Notre Dame, and they got to get Miami, Florida State. They've got to get right. Big Barney Ross says Boston College is overrated, sir. Very good. Sir Uga says he would respect Rob a lot more if he got a babysitter and showed up to the Slob Olympics. You guys got to lay off that, man. Can't back out on the wife on that now. Calm down. And Elijah says, and doesn't the ACC schools have higher academic standards across the board? There is some of that, but I say piss on that. Because remember, North Carolina, hi, you want to go to bed? Good night, dear. North Carolina gave away degrees for the basketball players and the football players. So I don't think that they're to have this holier than thou status over everybody else when you're at North Carolina is just bullshit to me. So there's that. Dr. Bark says Rob just doesn't want to have to run the 40. He's allergic to cardio. Look, I can run the 40. I'm not saying I'm going to win, but I'll run the 40. What were the other events? I know there's isn't there like push-ups? I know the Jeopardy thing. I would take the Jeopardy thing. I'm a plethora of useless knowledge. And unless it's bullshit like who was the 8th string quarterback for Georgia in 2006, I'm not going to know that because no one gives a shit. But if it's actual Jeopardy questions, I'll dominate that. Dominate that from afar. So there's that. Harry Legg says at some point the SEC and ACC need to merge and form the Great Southern Alliance. That's funny.
I think they did that in 1850.
The wife says they did that in the 1850s. I don't know if that. Look, I'll tell you what. I'll take this. You give me the SEC and the ACC against the field. I'll take that. Who's going to threaten you outside of those two conferences? Don't come at me with Ohio State and Michigan. Dr. Mark says, Rob, have you picked out a team or coach yet to shit on this offseason that will inevitably have immense success this fall? Sir, you missed where I ripped on Jimbo Fisher, and how did they do? Remember, we've got people like our buddy saying things about, let's see, what was this one?
The SEC East is here to stay this year. Kentucky, Tennessee, and Georgia are top-notch teams, and all of y'all need to deal with it.
Yeah, there you go. There's that. I'm not buying all that. But, Uncle Lou says it's a one-man band. Jackpot, I don't know where Jackpot is. So there's that. Leonard says Rob drank the 40 in 3.2 seconds. That's funny too. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. A thought for the folks that are doing the Slob Olympics, you should have a Calcutta auction, let people buy their horse. Yeah, you can pick X guy. You probably raise some money that way. Do some charity type stuff. Have a thing on that. Brock says, will there be a show on Sunday? I'm debating on that with the Super Bowl. We shall see. Jackpot's cleaning up potato chip displays. That's not nice. Wonder if Jimbo took Petrino with him to shop for his new Harley. Yeah. Look, does anybody think that's going to work, by the way? Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino working together? I don't know how that's going to work at all. I just don't see it. All right, phone lines are open, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. We'll take your Super Bowl picks. I'm debating on which way I'm going to go here because the stats say that the Philadelphia Eagles had 70 sacks on the year. It also says that we also they also play the easiest schedule in the NFL. So that's that. Elijah says donate the money for rehab for Stetson Bennett. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Stetson. Jackpot ate his own supply. You guys run your mouth about Jackpot. He's not here to defend himself. That's not nice. Roll Tide says whoever's running the Slob Olympics better make sure there'll be an AED on the premises. I think Uncle Lou's putting out the message that, hey, if you pass out, you never competed. That's on you. You were just running around acting like an idiot. You fall over dead. It's on you. The Uncle Lou program is not responsible for the fact that you're a middle-aged man trying to run a 40-yard dash. Just speaking somewhat for Uncle Lou there. I'm pretty sure that's what he's thinking. He doesn't want that liability over his head. Was it Lube TV LLC? It's pretty much it. The Slob Olympics were set up under Lube Tube LLC. You just come shake hands. You want to compete, that's on your own. Just saying. My money's on Jackpot, though. I would bet on Pigskin Pete, but I think Pigskin Pete is I don't know, man. Pigskin Pete might be a little bit out of his range there with Jackpot there. Sir Uga says Stet was knocking on doors looking for TCU's offense and defense. Yeah, there's that too. Big Barney Ross says Jimbo Fisher introducing a new calendar system. BC before children, AD after divorce. Huh. Sir Uga says it's two very evenly matched teams. Look, if Kansas City had their wide receivers, I think it would be a little bit different. Little bit different. But, man, here's the thing with this too. The Eagles are so balanced. I mean, they really are. Elijah says he's not a Georgia fan by a long shot, but I have to look up to Stetson Bennett too. All that as a walk-on is really admirable. Being a former walk-on yourself. Yeah. Look, Bennett is, you got to respect, what Bennett did at Georgia. Nobody thought he was going to do anything worth a shit. Seriously, think about it. A little bit of Sprite Zero. And he went out there and played like he was 6'7" and could make every throw and everything else. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. If you would like to join the program this evening, phone lines are open. Yep, they are open if you would like to join the show. Super Bowl picks. The Pro Bowl disaster. The way that shook out. I mean, I think the majority of us have stopped watching the Pro Bowl. In fact, when I really stop and think about it, with the Pro Bowl now, I don't even use that as a monitor of how good of a player you are. If you're first team all pro, that's more worthy to me than being the Pro Bowl. Big Barney Ross says, Uncle Lou should start a wings restaurant. Barbelou Wings, Buffalo Wings. Do not put that in his head. Sir Uga says Sprite Zero and 4 Roses tonight. Bulldog says the Slob Olympics is a family-friendly event. I'm not doubting that. Not doubting that at all. Just driving down there and everything else. We shall see. Brock asked who my favorite comedians are. I love Sam Kinison from a long time ago. Uncle Lou says, I already have dump trucks, all you can eat. Don't have time for Buffalo Wings, but it's a great idea. Big Barney Ross just comes up with things. You should read his bourbon blog that he has on the robandkaleshow.com website. Thank you to the people who have been reading that, by the way. I looked at the numbers on that earlier, and it's like, I thought that would just be something for me and Big Barney Ross to talk back and forth about. But I think he's got like 5 reviews up there now. And there's been like 10,000 hits. So as far as visitors to that site. Joseph Hall says, where is Jackpot? I think he's sleeping. So can't help you with that. Buffalo Wings at Dump Trucks. Very good, sir. VicTube, what's up? Appreciate you showing up here. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Uncle Lou asked if he already called in. No one's called into the program yet. Dr. Bark says, if he had to become a fan of any CFB team besides Clemson, who would it be? Probably the Citadel Bulldogs. Just like or one of the Service Academy teams. If you're asking me from a Power 5 conference, I have a disdain for a lot of the other programs around the country. So I'd probably go for a team out west. I'd probably go like Oregon. So yeah, that's probably right. I do think there's traditions throughout the country that are really good, that are really cool, but I'd probably, I don't know, man. It's like picking a new college team would be like picking a new wife. If you got to go and do that, that's got to be a lot of work. You got to get rid of all your old gear. And then you may get, if you're stupid like I am, you'll probably get confused doing doing the different chants in the stadium. I don't want that nonsense. Randall says, who's Clemson's starting quarterback next season? He is, of course, going to be the young man, Klubnik. That's going to be the starter there. So 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Big Barney Ross's barbecue sauce is outstanding. He sent me some of it. It's really good. So, but it's not like he has time to market that shit when he's out there conquering the world, and there's too much bourbon for him to drink to start another business, I'm sure. All right, 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. Yeah, Randall, he is the kid that started the bowl game for Clemson. They got a guy coming in that they're really high on, but I really think that Klubnik will benefit from the new offensive staff. And one area that Clemson had issues with since Justin Ross left, basically, they don't really have a wide receiver that's been outstanding. I mean, they had T. Higgins, who could hide a lot of things. Justin Ross was great. They haven't really had a good slot receiver, someone that a quarterback could check down to. And then losing Travis Etienne, too. I mean, yeah, I know that Shipley's been a good running back, but he's no Travis Etienne. Let's not be silly here. Okay? He may eventually be great, but as of right now, I mean, he's not nearly what Travis Etienne was to the Clemson program. So I think losing that has kind of hindered the Clemson offense. But if you look at the recruiting, yes, Clemson's still got a top 10 class, and that's great. Most of those guys are from Nick Eason, who's over there on that side of the ball recruiting defensive guys. There isn't like one offensive player in the skill position set that you look at and you're like, you know what? That guy's going to help Clemson this year. There really isn't. When you step back and, okay, now maybe they're, one of the lower rated wide receivers will do their thing. I don't know. We shall see. Let's go to the phones. And welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you, sir?
Doing good. You think we should be concerned about Carolina jackpot?
I think he's just sleeping. He told me that he normally takes a little nap before the show, and he probably just didn't wake up.
Oh, yeah. Now VicTube doesn't care. If it like maybe that's true, maybe he did just take a nap and overslept, or maybe there's like something really wrong with him. Either way, VicTube doesn't care. Now it's nothing against Carolina jackpot. Vic just doesn't care about other people in general.
Okay.
Yeah. So whether it's like Celine Driver, I mean, it's happened a bunch of times. VicTube just in general doesn't care about other people's well-being. I do though, but I'm going to take. I'm going to believe what you're saying is probably accurate. I've laid down to take naps before and ended up. The thing. It's weird about naps. There's a key like time frame you have to stay between when it comes to naps. It has to be like 20 to 40 minutes. Yeah. Like less than that is almost not even worth doing it. But the problem is if you do over 40 minutes, like let's say you take a nap, it turns into like an hour and 10-minute nap. Well, then when you wake up, you're actually more tired than you were before your nap, because once you hit like the 45 or 50-minute mark, it's like your body thinks like, okay, this must be sleep time. Let's just shut everything down here. And then like a dummy, you wake up after an hour, but your body is really still asleep. You know what I mean? So it's probably best that Jackpot didn't wake up in time for the show, because I don't feel like he would have been able to really be at his best, because he would have really still been asleep even though he was technically awake for the show. Does that make any sense at all?
Completely get that. Maybe he and I know he's working a lot, so I would call him like right at the start of the show and be like, "Where the hell are you?" And then he'd be like, damn it, I can't, or whatever. I didn't want to do that to him tonight. I just felt like he's sleeping. So let him sleep.
Yeah. And the last thing I know this has been in the news recently, so I just wanted to mention it here. But Lisa don't know Daddy's getting hot at the body shop doing something unholy. She sat back while she's dropping it. She be popping it. Yeah, she put it down slowly. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you calling the program. Anyway, thanks to Uncle Lou for joining the show here. Great to have him join the show today. All right. Sir Uga says Jackpot needs his beauty sleep. Very funny. Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what. We've had a fun show here. Appreciate the folks that have chimed in. You guys are awesome over there. I apologize for Jackpot. I'm sure Jackpot will feel bad about it because he's like, man, we had a show schedule. We didn't do it. Damn it. I mean, he'll be mad. He'll text me at like 4:45 in the morning and be like, sorry, I missed the show, Rob. Damn it. God damn it, I was sleeping. Yeah, that's what he'll say. Randall says, what's Deion Sanders going to do this year at Colorado? You know, I think that they're going to be tough because we don't know what they're going to be. So they could be tough. Their schedule is brutal, though. Welcome to the program. Good evening. Hello. Hi.
Hey, it's Chris from Georgia. Hey, I wanted to get your opinion on, did you see, who was the running back that Dave Doran, like about 5-6 years ago, bragged about one of his players gave him a concussion at Clemson?
I'd have to research that, brother. Was it a Clemson running back? I don't remember Dave. I know Dave Doran's a dumbass, but I don't remember that. I mean, I'm not saying that what you're saying is out there, but I honestly don't remember that story. I can Google it, but I don't remember him saying, "Hey, our guy gave him a concussion." That's
well, he's like, "Oh yeah, we took their guy out, and it was the guy went out of the game because he had a concussion, and Dave Doran was kind of bragging about it. He got called out in the media for it. But no, it made me think. I thought of that because you got that Georgia memorabilia company. They made that picture. Hell, they stole the picture from a private photographer, and he ended up having to spend a cease and desist on them to take the picture down. But they had old Javon Bullard, who laid that massive hit. And I'm not saying whether it was legal or not, but at the end of the day, it gave Marvin Harrison Jr. a concussion. And they're out here bragging about it right night on the photo and selling it for NIL. One, on a stolen photo that they didn't have the copyright to, and two, it's just distasteful as hell. Especially as a Tennessee fan, I never made fun of Nick Chubb getting hurt, but I know that the frat boys did, like they do at every school on Frat Road the next year, and it was distasteful, and Georgia fans raised hell. But now they're defending this, and it's just I didn't know if you saw it. I was going to get your opinion on it.
Are you talking about remind me, you're upset because they're using a picture where a young man got hurt? Is that what you're upset about?
Yeah, they're selling NIL with for Javon Bullard. I guess he gets a cut of it. And basically that's where he laid that big hit on Marvin Harrison. And then they're acting like everybody that's raising hell about it's crying. And it's like, no, it's just distasteful. Like, I mean, regardless whether the hit was clean or not, the kid still got hurt. He was out of the rest of the game. And we're out here, just selling it on memorabilia sites to make money. But like I said, it ended up getting taken down because the photo they used wasn't their photo. It was some other photographer.
First of all, on that, athletes, this is part of the name, image, and likeness thing there. And these young men can take pictures of them, have pictures of themselves, and sell them. I mean, that's part of it. I don't know how much smart or any college coach has that they can say, hey, don't do that. I think there's, I mean,
you got to own the photo first or pay the copyright.
Yeah. Well, but
even if it is of you.
But here's the thing. It is, I mean, I agree with the photographer should get his cut because he's out there getting that shot, which it's hard to do that kind of thing. But I'm sure there are some Georgia folks that would want that picture, but I don't want a picture. I don't want a picture of something where I seen where a kid got a concussion. You know, I don't think that.
Same way.
I don't think that he was trying to have that hit on him and give him a concussion. It ended up being a big play, but
And I mean, the pictures he was selling, the bad thing was the pictures he was selling, he wrote night on them because the kid got knocked out. He wrote night, Javon Bullard, and that's what they were selling him as. And it's like, yeah, but this is a dude that just, I mean, 3 months ago he was in front of the judge for an aggravated DUI. Like, this ain't really, that's not the type of, when you're trying to clean your image up, you really don't want to be known as the dude that brags about giving people concussions. I don't know.
Look,
That's just me.
I
I think
get that, but there's an issue of taste, and I think that it is in poor taste. But I believe that in our country, you have the right to, if someone's going to buy something, as long as it's not. I mean, man, that's just such a gray area, to be completely honest. I don't like it because, hey, the guy did get hurt, but him writing night on it is kind of, I mean, it's trash talk. I mean, it's really what it is, but it's not something that I would want as part of my collection of stuff, but I can definitely see where there are people that would want it,
Yeah. And I get that, but I mean, you got to kind of stay within your ideals, I guess. Georgia's notorious for, like, when Todd Gurley got hurt, if anybody said anything about, oh, you're just celebrating a kid getting hurt. When Nick Chubb got hurt, hell, they claimed it was a dirty hit, all this stuff. If anybody said anything about, you just celebrating a kid getting hurt.
Hold on now. Let's we shouldn't bask in any of these injuries. The Marcus Lattimore injury was insane. I remember covering that game, and it was just an absolute disaster. You watched that play, and it was just terrible.
I agree.
And any time that a young, especially if their career ends because of it, you're kind of a dickhead if you cheer that. I do think it was ruled a clean play by there wasn't any flags flowing for unnecessary roughness or anything like that. You're taught that this is it's a gladiator sport. I mean, it really, really is. These guys are taught to play to the whistle. I don't think he was trying to intentionally hurt the kid. I really don't. So when you look at it from that, do you think he was trying to hurt him? Let's start with that.
I don't think anybody, unless you're, I forget that dude, Maranovich or whatever, back in the 90s, or like Brian Cushing. I don't think anybody's going on the field intentionally trying to hurt anyone. But injuries happen. But when they do happen, don't celebrate it. And concussions are an injury, whether it was a clean hit or not. If a kid gets hit cleanly and dislocates his shoulder, and then I took a picture of that and I was selling it like, oh man, we won the game because so and so's arm got dislocated, and I sold a picture of the dislocation.
It's not like that he was Albert Hainsworth where he tried to cleat a guy on his head. It wasn't like that, right? Huh?
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. I mean, it
Albert
wasn't a
nasty, the ball, and I think he's a piece
disgusting play like that. So
we'll say he learned that in South Carolina back in high school.
But he went to 3 years of college at Tennessee, so there's that.
No, he was just a piece of shit. I mean, he's a woman beater. I don't consider him a ball. I wouldn't ask for his autograph if I saw him. He's a big son bitch. I wouldn't talk shit to him to his face. But like, I don't like him as a person. Like, he played at Tennessee. He played at the Titans and a bunch of other places. But he's a piece of shit. He's been arrested for spousal abuse, and that's unforgivable to me if you get convicted of that. So.
I've never understood the, hey, I'm just going to slap my wife around just because then she'll do what I want her to do. What the fuck kind of bullshit? Yeah. I've never understood that. Here, if you get to a point where you want to just take a walk, fucking get a divorce. You ain't got to deal with all that shit.
Yeah.
I've got no patience for
all
that shit.
Your opinion. I mean, it's all, I think we kind of align on that. I was just wondering your opinion.
I think he has the right because he made the play. As long as he's got rights to the photograph, he should be able to sell them and do whatever the hell he wants. I feel bad for Harrison, but Harrison is over the age of 18. He knows what he's getting into when he gets out there on that football field. So, there's a chance you could get lit up. It can happen, and he knows that. So, I mean, it's not something that I would want, but one of those things is like Chris Rock says, I don't agree with it, but I understand.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, good show. Hope if Jackpot's
going to be fine.
All right.
All right, bud.
All right.
Have a
Well,
good
I'll see
night, man.
you then.
All right. See you later on. All right. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. If you'd like to join the show this evening, Baylorman says, Chugg's mustard bottle. Thank you. Elijah says they haven't ever heard Goodbye Earl by the Dixie Chicks. You're kind of a piece of shit if you hit a woman. It's just kind of a bitch move, to be honest with you. Welcome in to the program. Good evening.
Yeah. Hey, Rob. It's Big Tube.
Hello, VicTube. I heard that you don't care about other people. Is that a true statement?
Yeah, that's what I called about. I just wanted to let you know that yes, I do care.
But why would Uncle Lou call the program and say that you didn't care, sir? Do you think Uncle Lou is going to just run around and spreading disinformation about you, sir? Why would he do that?
What it started with is it was on the morning show, and then Uncle Lou asked me if we should call Celine Driver to make sure he's okay, and then he said, or would that be silly? And then I said that would be silly. So that's why now he thinks I don't care about anyone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but I can understand where he's coming from with that. That kind of makes sense. I mean, I don't think Uncle Lou's going to call up and lie to us. I mean, in his opinion, from what you said, I guess, on the morning show, and I didn't hear it. Context is king here. But from what you told me and what he said, I mean, I can understand where he's coming from.
Yes, well, yes, that's his opinion. But yeah, but actually, mom do care, contrary to popular belief. So
fair enough, sir. Well, you called and tried to clear the air. Very good, sir.
Yeah. So is Jackpot gonna be okay?
I think Jackpot's going to be fine. If not, then I mean, I'm sure by tomorrow morning I'll have a nice text message from him. Sorry, I missed the show. Whatever. I think Jackpot's fine. I sent him the stuff to send him the StreamYard link to come in, and he just didn't show up. So
yeah, what about you? Are you doing okay?
I'm fine. Fine.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate it. You have a good night, all right?
Okay, bye.
All right, man. See you later. All right. Jerry says Jackpot is taking breathing treatments. Fair enough. Larry says Jackpot's fine. Uncle Lou says ask if Jackpot's okay. Don't do that. We're going to end the program before everybody calls and asks. Jackpot, I'm sure, is fine. We appreciate you guys taking some time out with us this evening. Look forward to these shows every Wednesday and Sunday. We will, by the way, go and like our page on Facebook. And we're close to 1,000 followers on Facebook now, which is kind of cool. We haven't really been pushing it there, but go and get us over 1,000 on Facebook. I'll post a message tomorrow about whatever I find out about Jackpot, and then we'll go from there. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.